Hello, this week on 5 Brilliant Things, we have the fantastic comedian Alfie Brown. Here is a flavour of the casserole I'm serving.
When I was gigging in Derby, we'd had a really nice time on the way there. I got in the car on the way back, and I went, I've just got a text off a girl who I slept with, and she's pregnant, and it's a boy, and she's going to keep it. I don't think the conversation on the way home was quite as zippy on my part.
Alfie,
Hi.
lovely to see you.
Thanks very much indeed.
We haven't seen each other for a long time. I greatly enjoyed your special.
Did you?
I
Thanks.
really did. I loved it. I thought it was shot brilliantly. It felt like you were in a New York club. It
Well-
was really well. I don't know who did it, but the material's great as well. I should
Thank you.
point-
I'll
should
pass
point
on,
that
I'll
out.
pass on the brunt of your compliment to Will Hutchby.
But it's shot
But-
really lovely. I liked it.
Yeah, it was. We were wondering where we were going to film it. And because it's called The Last Cancelled Comedian and is indeed about cancellation and mine, no less, I wanted it to be... You can't do it in some way that's too nice.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, what's the... If I did it... I did a date at the Leicester Square Theatre.
Yeah.
Had I recorded that one,
Yes.
everybody would have gone, well, what's the problem? I don't really understand. Doesn't look very cancelled.
With a walk in and everyone's high-fiving you.
Yeah.
There's people who can't get into the theatre go, oh my God.
It's that cancelled comedian who's thriving at the moment. Yeah.
But I also think one of the strengths of the show, and you should watch it, by the way, it's available on YouTube. One of the strengths of the show is it's very obvious why you're talking. And that's one of the major flaws of a lot of stand-up specials. It's like, this is all the stuff I got this year, whereas yours is a specific... You have a story to tell and there's lots of jokes within it. And that's kind of rare, I think. You know when you kind of go, I know why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know why I'm here. We're all talking about this.
Yeah.
And the jokes are all nicely packaged rather than these are my musings.
I think that's a problem I'm having this year.
I was going to talk to you about that. We'll get into that. But what is it like once you've done the show expected of you by an audience, let's say, or you're addressing the elephant in the room and then you address it excellently and it's really good. What do you do after you? What's next? Just funny stuff.
I mean, I'd sort of like a break from, like, you know, in lieu of more cancellation and death. I think we're going to have to take the rough with the smooth a little bit and go, bad news is there's not a glaring issue in your personal life to conjure into jokes. But then I think it's how I'm really feeling. I think a lot of the time, from what I've read, after feeling the tumult of grief, you end up in a bit of an identity crisis,
Right.
and feeling slightly unlike yourself, or not really knowing who you are to the world anymore, because the dynamic of your relationship with the world has changed slightly. I think.
Massively. Well, that is the thing. When you've been through, you know, devastation and grief, you sort of become aware that you are different, and that there won't be anything that will make it better. But it's about you getting used to the new you and the new thought patterns.
Yeah.
But then in the stillness, if you've been through grief, your brain goes to the grief because
Yeah.
it has to fix the thing that's important rather
Yeah.
than, hey, people do funny things on airplanes. Like, do you know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
think the things that people do on airplanes are almost even funnier.
Right.
Because you're so fucked off with the world.
Yes, that's interesting.
But and that's sort of where my brain's gone now, is that I like the idea of silliness and not taking anything too seriously. But I mean, I think the show is about the identity crisis and is about coming to terms with my own shifting ambition. I don't feel as ambitious as I used to. And I'm not really sure it's that important to feel that ambitious. Also, like, I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, that was a decision made by an 18-year-old guy.
Yes.
Who I've cellularly completely divorced myself from.
Yeah,
I'm just living my life based on an 18-year-old's decision.
It's so funny when you put it like that, because I started stand-up at 18, that we are essentially still living the gap year that kid chose. It's just like, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
And we're still there.
Apart from now, we've got to do like this and clip it and like, and all of the things that we thought, like, you would have started about, I don't know, imagine
98. Yeah.
98,
Yeah.
8 years before me. Okay.
Yeah.
like still ringing up for gigs. But I think also being an artist, or what it takes to create interesting things, involves fallow time and contemplation and the living of a life, which is why if you're too busy, it will blunt your creativity to an extent.
Amen.
And if you are constantly chasing reels or seeing your own value numerically as how good are you as a comedian? Oh, I'm 50,000 followers good.
Yeah.
But that's not as good as X comedian who's got 120. That's how good we are.
Yes, and that's how the world views. Yeah, it's so interesting. Against the backdrop of when we started, it wasn't like Richard Pryor's DVD sold X amount. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Especially when there's now a Scottish man turning it into an actual competition.
I've seen him, and
What?
Hello, I'm just about to ruin a few lives.
Who is he? What? I know exactly who you mean. He's just
my
come
name's
along.
Tony from Comedy IQ. and
It's so weird.
I'm the devil in disguise.
It's, for the benefit of anyone who doesn't know, there's this kind of strange Scottish man that has looked at the figures of how much the net worth of comedians, or how many tickets they've sold in Ipswich, or everything has been quantified and tabulated.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
He runs a website called Comedy IQ, where so if you run a venue, you can go on Comedy IQ, or if you've got a podcast, you could have done this today and you wouldn't have booked me.
Right.
If you'd gone on Comedy IQ, you could have seen how many podcasts I've been on, like how many tickets I sell, where I'm touring, how active I am on social media, and whether my social media is in a state of growth at the moment, like whether it's like good, like invest now.
So essentially, all this man has done is gone on AI, put in people's names,
Yeah.
and then reads it out in a sing-song voice.
It feels like that might be the case, but it's also a website to help you book like lineup. So, who's big in Shrewsbury?
It's brilliant because you can book comedians without ever having to listen to a single joke.
Yeah,
So good.
It completely takes all the joy and love out of booking.
Jesus.
And the thing is that he did a video the other day. He was ranking couples podcasts. And he goes,
God.
in at number 3, it's Alfie Brown and Jesse Cave with Before We Break Up Again. And I would encourage you to watch the clips. I haven't listened to a whole podcast, obviously, but I would encourage you to watch the clips. They're very strange people. I go, you run a comedy aggregation website and Instagram page. Don't you go calling me an odd person.
Yeah.
Anyway, it will be his golden dream to have been mentioned so much on a podcast.
Glorious. Well, what a fantastic start. We haven't even got into the brilliance, but I'm looking forward to it already. What is your first brilliant thing?
The city of Liverpool.
Okay, well, I'm with you. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I spend a lot of time there.
Good.
I'm a big fan of the place. What do you love about it?
Well, it's where my family is from on my mum's side. I've been going there since I was a kid. I've moved there last July. Whenever I was walking the streets of Liverpool, I've got this very vivid memory of turning from Hope Street onto Hardman and going down the hill and looking out, and you can see the sort of tops of the like Liver buildings on the city skyline is just before you meet the river, and thinking, this place makes me feel really happy. This place fills me with a sense of being at home that I don't get at home.
Right.
I think,
where was home at that time?
London. I've lived in London. I was born in London. I don't think you can be born more centrally than I was.
Okay.
I was born in UCH, Tottenham
Right.
Court Road. But London is too big and too sprawling. It doesn't have a sense of community and a civic identity in the same way that I think somewhere like Liverpool or Newcastle or Glasgow or any of my favourite cities do.
Yes. But do you think it's also just tied up in that? I often think about this, where you kind of think, I live just outside London and I have a season ticket for Liverpool, and sometimes it's 4 hours to get there. And you think, God, it would be so much easier to be an Arsenal fan. It would be so much easier. I could just nip down there. And yet when you're at Anfield, I don't think you've ever gone there and not gone, I'm happy to be here, even in defeat. It's such a, it just feels like church, doesn't it? You just feel there, you feel so at home. I know exactly what you feel.
Yeah.
What you mean when you say that.
Oh yeah, no, it's the perfect. I think everybody who's looking to move away from religion should find football. If you want to go and sing with your mates, we've got a great thing to sing about. It's magical. And the walking through the city, everybody is I always bristled as a Londoner at the idea that Northerners are nicer or friendlier. And moving up there, they aren't. What is nicer is the environment. So everybody is nicer. And I'm sure when they come down south, they're not as nice. Because I'm nicer up there.
Yeah.
I am with them like a nicer guy because it's more freeing. I love the people having the time to consider each other and engage with each other and try and make each other laugh. Trying to make somebody laugh is an act of kindness. It's a kind thing to do.
Yeah. It's a very chatty city as well, and it's a very, you know what I mean. It's a people want to communicate. They want to have a bit of fun. They want to have a bit of, you know, it's the Irish influence. But it's in search of crack all the time. It's looking because there's a really good scene, you know, through Hot Water that's kind of developed as well. Like the comedy scene in Liverpool feels really kind of bubbling and exciting.
Oh,
it must feel lovely to be part of that as well.
It is, yeah. There's loads. I mean, obviously, I'm friends with Adam and Dan and the Have a Word guys. You know, there's loads of great comics up there. Rob Thomas is one to look out for. The Bootle, Patrice O'Neill.
Right.
Yeah.
Does he call himself that? Or
No, that's a moniker that I've coined for him. If he had called himself that, I would never have mentioned it.
Yes.
But he's worth considering.
Interesting. Rob Thomas.
Rob Thomas.
Is
he
doing
not the singer from Matchbox 20?
Is there a Formby Bernie Mac?
Yeah, we've got our Formby Birmingham.
I'm not fucking scared of you motherfuckers. Like that. It's got a big picture of his face on his jeans. What is your next brilliant thing?
Watching now, I have a particular memory that this comes from. Watching live sport with somebody that you love. But the particular memory is based in Liverpool last season played, and this is not, you know, a sports centric thing. I think the feeling is evocative enough without, you know, I'm not going to be nerdy about sport. Liverpool conceded a last-minute equaliser to Everton in the final game at Everton's ground last season. I watched it in my sitting room with my son. He was allowed to stay up late, even on a school night, and I collapsed to my knees in anguish as James Tarkowski scored a volley.
It was a very good
final
goal.
moment. It was a very good goal. It was a very good goal. To be magnanimous, we've got to be magnanimous with the bitters, and. Wouldn't it be great if I took him to Anfield? That would be his first Premier League game. He's been to see FA Cup and a friendly, but never had the money or / been too young. So I paid a lot of money. I think maybe £500 or £600 to take him to Anfield to see the Merseyside derby. It was late enough in the season that win secured us the league title. Diogo Jota, who has now sadly died, scored the winning goal. And he was in my arm till the wretched burning sensation in my bicep I could stand no longer. And we sang the Diogo Jota song. Oh, he wears the number 20. And I left the stadium that night. And first of all, the tickets felt cheap.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, of course.
And like, second of all, I thought, I don't know really, going back into the idea of ambition, I don't really know what I want, or I don't feel I really need to be rich. I just know that I want to do that more. And whatever facilitates me doing that more in my life and taking more of my children to more of the football, and maybe one day they'll get into cricket if I've got anything about me. Then I want to share that with them.
Yes, because it's so pure. It's like me and my brother went to the Barcelona game. So we go there, we're 3-0 down. We go because we think, well, we'll
not
get
that Barcelona game.
We'll get to see, we'll get to see Messi. That's that. And then we go on to win 4-3, and it's this insane. But the point I'm making, it's those like that will stay with your son. How old is your son?
He's 10.
Yeah, so that's...
Well, he was 10 then, he's 11 now.
So that's a forever memory. He remembers being held by you. He remembers the madness, the noise, the exhilaration. What's lovely as well is that you're in perfect synchronicity with your son, because you both... It's so silly, but you're both like, yeah, ball gone in goal, but it matters. And you're both
Yes.
together, and it's such an adult and also childish thing all swirled together, and it's your boy, and it's a goal, and you're hugging, and fuck, of course, who wouldn't want that? Cannot wait for that moment. I've hugged strangers after Salah scored.
Yeah.
So what it must feel like to hug your son.
Oh.
Good God.
Oh, I mean, I've hugged strangers that I've deemed too scary to interact with, due to a sort of litany of generalisations I've made about various aspects of how they look, and then suddenly you're at White Hart Lane, we've scored a fifth, and you're kissing the top of his bald, ferocious head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, and I think, like, you know, it's equivalent price of a PlayStation, 5 or 6, whatever they're on now. When I'm about to go and my son is by my side, he's not going to be holding my hand going, Dad, do you remember the PlayStation 5? Wasn't it brilliant? But he might say, do you remember when we went to Anfield to see Liverpool sort of essentially cement the league with the now dead Diogo Jota scoring that goal and us all singing his song? They're like, so what's the fuck is value? Like, what's the fuck? And this is not me saying, so good, raise ticket prices, because it's certainly worth it. It's just, I paid a bad company money for that, a bad tout. So don't do that. But also, if you do, you might have one of the most magical experiences of your life.
And the great thing is, you weren't going to the football looking for a piece of content out the back of it. You were going there because you wanted to go with your son, and and by living real life, you happen to have happened upon an actual moment that's interesting and worthy of talking about. That's surely what the pursuit has to be as any kind of creative.
To live it.
You know why you want to be there, and you know what is important. And I think that's kind of it's just a big problem with a lot of stuff, is that you're just eating these hot wings because they're hot. You know what I mean? But you've gone to a different country and you're eating the foods that you've never eaten before, and it just feels that there's a sea of kind of bland. It's interesting when you take the time to actually do things you want to do and take people you love to things they want to do. I mean, I think that would be very interesting as well. Like, let's say, have you got daughters? So let's say they're into, I don't know, they might be into Taylor Swift. I'm guessing you might not be, but I would imagine you probably have a similar experience, because you're like seeing your little girl sing along to her hero, and you're like, oh my God, my jokes have led to her enjoying this moment. That's success.
I took her to ABBA Voyage. Are you pronouncing it Voyage?
You like,
Pronouncing it Voyage, ABBA Voyage?
I don't know what you're talking about.
ABBA Voyage is the holographic version of an ABBA concert.
Oh, ABBA Voyage.
ABBA Voyage. There we go.
Yeah, really.
I know it well.
So yes, Jesse insisted upon calling it ABBA Voyage as well. I can't quite summon that. But I took her to see that and for her birthday a couple years ago, and that possessed the same amount of magic.
And I'm guessing you're not an ABBA fan.
I'm a huge ABBA fan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can belt out Chiquitita with the same gusto that I belt out Poor Scouser Tommy.
Wow.
I love ABBA.
Jesus.
I think they're one of the greatest bands of all time.
That is very interesting. I wouldn't have said that. But it's fascinating. So tell me more about it. So you're there, you're singing the songs with your daughter.
Yes, both in sequins, both knocked a couple of cocktails back. Hers Shirley Temple's.
Yes.
And I think that it's the space as well. And when you see there's something incredible and consciousness expanding about the vastness of the space and the sheer amount of people congregated in one area behind a singular goal. Like with the football, going back to that, like my son, you see a lot of videos of dads and lads, the dads filming the lad going up the steps of the gantry to the stadium, and then you see this stadium in the green that looks greener than any green you've ever seen before, and the kid sort of crackles and bursts with this sensory explosion, and his face is all like in different shapes. He can't control it. It's all pure and beautiful enthusiasm for something entirely new. And I was so like, I didn't know what to do. Like, shall I film this moment of his so I've got it, or shall I experience it myself? And experiencing it myself was one of the best decisions I made. I was really, really happy that I now have the purity of the moment, albeit, you know, dulled slightly by the consideration of whether to film it. But
imagine that you're just stood there like that in this kind of like.
Oh, Dad, it's great. Oh, fuck, I've missed it.
Sorry.
Just deciding whether to film it or not have a beautiful moment with you.
You can always get to retake it.
Can we go again, please?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll do. Yeah, exactly.
Donny, we're losing daylight here.
What is your next brilliant thing?
Love songs. Okay. And I was worried that I was going too broad. So, I mean, I've got a couple in mind. But I don't think I experience any greater pleasure than when something as... I suppose the first place to start is I don't think we talk enough about love. For how pervasive and important it is, like the singular facet almost of a happy life.
It's very interesting though, because where they definitely do talk about it is music.
Yeah,
but you're right, it doesn't really. It's a really the first time you tell somebody you love them, it's fucking terrifying. But so exciting when it's reciprocated. You know? But maybe that's why. Maybe because it's such a risky thing to talk about, because when you tell people what you love or who you love, you run the risk of looking foolish.
Do you know? So, how many times have you been in love? Have you thought you were in love and then retrospectively realised it wasn't love? How do you know what that is?
I think you're asking for an impossible thing, which I think you know, and is sort of the fun of the question. But I don't think any two loves the same. So, like, if you're in love with Cynthia Nixon and then you leave her and marry Sarah Jessica Parker, the love that you feel for Sarah Jessica Parker won't be the same as the love that you felt for Cynthia Nixon. They're two different people, as are Miranda and Carrie, who they play, obviously, in Sex and the City. So I don't... Like, I've loved people in different ways and with different urgencies, and sometimes the love has felt huge and like everlasting and unstoppable, but that was actually where love intersected with my own insecurities and lust. And my insecurity and my lust for the person and insecurity about myself in the context of this lust, and what if this thing that I'm lusting after lusts after another, well, that, like, there's love in there, and there is elements of love, and there's love about who the person is. I mean, I've maybe been in love 3 times, three or 4. Yeah. So
to get back to love songs, what do you think of when you think of love songs? What are your kind of your favourites? Because I always think of, one of my favourites is Maps by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Okay.
That's a cracking love song, I think.
don't know that one, I don't think.
Oh my God. The
Maps.
chorus,
I think I would know it if I heard
They
it.
don't love you like I love you. Wait, they don't love you like I love you, man. And the video, it's I think she's called Karen O, but she's kind of crying, and it's I fucking love it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a really great sort of indie love song.
Well, that song will accompany me on my walk to the tube station.
I think
after
you'll
we
like
finish
it.
this.
Yeah.
I do.
What?
I think
Boots of Spanish Leather by Bob Dylan. That's a cracking love song.
Yes. I think that there's love songs that do different jobs. I think in particular there's love songs that I like. No One's Gonna Love You Like I Can by Laura Marling.
Yep.
Or For You by Laura Marling, that say something, I think, unique, that like a good bit of comedy. Like, for example, you know, Let's Go Mandraw, which was something everybody had, but it took somebody to observe this particular facet of everyday life.
Yep.
And then render it comedic.
Yes.
In the same way that for somebody to describe some aspect of love that had always been present in your life but never there. Yeah. There's a line in the Laura Marling song that goes, love is not the answer, but the line that marks the start. And that, it's just like,
She's so extraordinary, that isn't she? She's just
it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
That line is discombobulating in
Yeah.
its reordering of how you organize the world and your life. And I think,
and she's so meek and delicate and delicate, and yet has these just lyrical bond. I love that line. It's like, it's my heart, it's my burden, and I would never bring you down like that. From this kind of like, she looks like a little wallflower, and then
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
goes on. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
yeah, I think she's incredible. And I think, I mean, you know, she's very, very successful, but I think, like, historically, like in 50 years, she'll be somebody that everybody goes, oh, you've got to listen to that. That's a classic. And I think Jeff Tweedy's songwriting from Wilco, if you know Wilco.
I don't know.
He's got this song in his solo career. It's called Guaranteed. And I think that is the key love song of my adult life, because it's all about guaranteed. It's called Guaranteed because the lyric in it is tragedy is guaranteed. Don't let your pain go to waste. When things go wrong, you think you can't go on. Our love is stronger that way. And it's all about the things that they've been through make the love that they have now stronger. This is necessarily imperfect, and part of like your ill feeling, the tragedy is baked into the price of what we have and appreciate about each other. So don't diminish it. There's an Alain de Botton line, which is something. It's something like, art is advertising for the person that you should be, or for how we should live our lives, something like that. I don't love it because it's making people understand something as beautiful and transcendental of love and art through the sort of conduit of advertising. But at the same time, I think it tells a story and shows us what we're perhaps supposed to be feeling. And I feel like a lot of that we've lost in mainstream culture and show business. Show business, I think, is in a bit of a, you know, crisis. I quite like calling it show business because
What do you mean by show business?
I mean entertainment. Time was when what it was we aspired to was to create something beautiful or something that somebody could love. And I think now, because of the way the media landscape has changed, the goal is to create something that people can't ignore. Not that they necessarily love.
Yeah,
but that they can't ignore.
But you're right. But to go back to what we were saying earlier, it becomes about things like net worth and followers. But the reason why I was sort of saying, what do you mean by show business? Because I feel like things like podcasts and, you know, shows at the Edinburgh Fringe, on tour, there's still that world still exists where people are trying to make things that people will adore. Like, you're not doing the Edinburgh Fringe to sell. Well, you obviously want to sell every ticket, but that's not your aim. Your aim is to make something that, you know, people will watch, they'll laugh at, and come away going, "Oh yeah, man." But you can't put. That's all that is. You want people to come out going, "Oh, it was great."
But are you saying that isn't show business?
I'm saying that at the moment, the gatekeepers of traditional show business are trying to chase the numbers. And if you chase the numbers, you don't make great stuff. And if the aim is chasing the numbers, whether it's net worth or followers or streams or whatever, there's a glass ceiling.
And presumably the show that you're doing right now at the Edinburgh Festival, The Entertainer,
yes,
that was written with entertaining people in mind rather than chasing numbers. I've forgotten when it's on.
When is it on? Yeah, when's it on?
It's on at 5 to 6.
I forgot where it's on.
The Underbelly, Cowgate at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, and then it goes on tour. And tickets are available at alfiebrowntour.com.
Lovely third God.
So yeah,
After your shifts from units.
let's put those numbers. Let's put some fucking numbers on the board, everybody.
But
let's put some fucking numbers on the board.
But it is interesting. It's like that dreaded, you know, that net worth, that phrase. It didn't exist, and we just sound like a couple of old fudders. But it didn't exist. That wasn't. I often remember that the In-Betweeners film. Now the series absolutely fantastic. The film's not great, but they made a huge amount of money. Ergo, they're successful, and yet they're not as good as the TV series, but because it's got that thing. Well, yeah, but it made that, so it must be good. And you think, well,
Yeah.
McDonald's sells burgers.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not
Trump got elected.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's
you
not to say that the In-Betweeners films are terrible. They're not, but that's the way they're justified, I guess.
Yes.
When numbers justify a thing, it's a bit of a worry, I think.
But I think that's it's so incredibly depressing that people wouldn't trust themselves creatively. Like Ahmet Erdogan didn't he wasn't thinking about what was there was an extent to which he was thinking about what's going to sell and how can we make it sell, but it was what's good, what has the it was about quality would inform success, and that's not too much the case anymore. I think people are looking at what's already successful. My friend works in music. He says he can't remember the last time somebody got signed that didn't already have 250,000 TikTok followers, which is depressing. And then what is your value as somebody who works in the music business, or any of the gatekeepers, as it were? You're like, there's a line in The West Wing, you don't want to be like the French radical who says, there go my people, I must find out where they're going so I can lead them there.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody is.
Yeah.
That you're not cutting your own way.
Yes.
You are simply looking at what's already happening and creating more of it, and it's disingenuous and therefore lesser because of it.
But what's fantastic, if you're lucky to be in the realm in which we dwell, that you can talk out loud for an hour and you can make people laugh and you can make people resonate with the things that you're describing.
For sure.
That's what's really cool about it, isn't it? That you just think, how lucky are we that we can say things out loud. As long as you pop a couple of laughs in there every so often, you're fine.
Yeah, I've found that. Yeah.
So are you suggesting that the age of the great love song is over? Have the best love songs been written?
Well, I
Pussy
think
is power. Fuck on a new bitch every night. Of course not.
That's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
Well, the Laura Marlowe one I mentioned is only from 2024.
Okay.
So maybe it died in 2024 with that song. No One's Gonna Love You Like I Am was the last great love song. Guaranteed's only a few years before that.
Well, that's nicely optimistic then. These things are still able.
Be the One by Dua Lipa. That's a modern banger.
I've not heard that.
Oh, it's very good.
My favourites were all from a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neil Diamond, Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon.
Right.
Bong 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 bong.
Ben, of course.
How about a song, To the Rat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Killer Rat.
Yeah.
These are the good ones. Actually, a really good one for real is John Prine, In Spite of Ourselves. Do you know that?
Oh, I would like to sing that with Jessie at our wedding.
Beautiful.
Are you not married?
No, we'll get married later.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I just assumed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we're not. No.
Well, this moves us on quite nicely because I snuck a look and I noticed her name was on it. One of your next brilliant things is, of course,
I love Jessie Cave from the Sky One sitcom Trolleyed.
She's been on the show. Very charming, very funny.
Yes. She prepped me for it.
Oh, did she?
Well, I didn't tell her what my five. She forced me. She wrote these actually. These are. No, she didn't know what my five. She doesn't know what my five brilliant things are.
Okay.
But she told me what hers were and
Great.
said that she had a nice time.
Great.
And that you were all nice.
Yeah. So what do you like about her?
Everybody, I think, has this sense that, like, everybody in love has this sense that their love is rare or special, and it can't be true, but it really does feel as if it is. And when you have somebody, and I think a lot of, another great love song, Father John Misty, he has that lyric, that's what true love means, to truly see and be seen. And there is something when you are so in the right rhythm with somebody else. And I mean, obviously, things like the sheer level of her kindness and support of me, and how completely invested she is in my success and well-being, and I would like to think that's reciprocated. I love her as an artist, and I've always even before we got together, I would watch her. She, with her Harry Potter money, she was in Harry Potter. I've never seen it. She put a bunch of money up to make these little short films, and she has such an access to herself, and I think that's why people love her, is that she has such a direct link to her own being and can communicate so precisely what it is that she is and how she's feeling. I think in a way that I've not really seen other than in like series 2 of Fleabag, which I thought was, you know, generationally brilliant TV program.
Right.
I think she's completely amazing, and I feel very lucky to be with her, and I had no choice in the matter.
But you also you've been together, you've been apart. So given that so what happened?
Well,
You don't have to go into that.
I
if you-
broke up with my previous person in November after a 2-year relationship, and I was like, okay, I mean, I'm 27. I was 26. I had just broken up with a girlfriend who came right off the back of another girlfriend. I've not had any time to be. I need to live by myself, or I need to live with other adult friends. I need to find out what my everyday rhythm looks like, and I need to find out who I am by myself, so I know what it is that I'm offering to somebody else in terms of a relationship.
Yep.
I think that's fairly smart and straightforward. I had a one-night stand with Jessie on January the 15th, 2014. She became pregnant. She didn't tell me until April the 9th, 2014, when I was gigging in Derby with Tom Wrigglesworth. And then I got in the car. We'd had a really nice time on the way there.
Yeah.
And we chatted really. He's great.
Yeah, he's
And
great.
Lovely.
he's
My
great.
favourite weightlifter.
And he's a great car journey,
Yes.
even with the vaping.
Yeah, and he makes his own vapes. And,
Yeah, yeah.
No, he's good company.
Yeah. He told me all about that before
Yeah.
we left Hendon.
Yeah.
And I got in the car on the way back, and I went, I've just got a text off a girl, and I slept with, and she's pregnant, and it's a boy, and she's going to keep it, and it's due October the 15th, and she says she's going to call it Bam. And he went,
Fucking
right.
hell, waft of raspberry. Just
A huge
fills the car.
plume of syrup
exactly.
fills the car.
Look, Alfie.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an elephant's queefed just everywhere.
Yeah, and I don't think the conversation on the way home was quite as zippy on my part. She came to my 27th birthday party, which was the next day, and said, you can be as involved or as uninvolved as you want to be. And I went, I'll be involved, please. It's a real spur-of-the-moment decision to have to make.
Okay.
And then we fell in love over the course of going to scans and whatnot.
Right.
And the thing is that I think had we stuck to one child, I would have been able to deal with it a lot better. But she is insatiable when it comes to pregnancy.
Right.
She knows no limits when it comes to having children. So she just wanted more and more. And we had a second one so soon after the first that I became overwhelmed with a life that I felt like was happening to me.
Right.
And so full of resentment. I mean, both times she's broken up with me.
Right.
Both times I've done that quite masculine thing of being such
Yes.
abysmal company
Yes.
that I leave one no other choice, really.
Yes.
So I had to go about, and I think it's done us really well, and it did her well, and she went out with somebody else, and she, liked him a lot, or maybe possibly even loved him. Who knows? Who am I to say? We can rifle through the 5 Brilliant Things annals to find that out, I'm sure. Yeah, and I think and then we had 2 more kids, and we broke up again, and it's just like I think something in my brain short circuits. I was happy to stay at 2. She pushed through to 4. Like, it was very difficult for me. And my mum said to me at one point, Alfie, do you think you're maybe letting your life happen to you a little bit?
Right.
Rather than being a... like.
Imagine her saying that with you with like a pram in each hand and a baby carried on the front and the back.
Sorry, Mum, could you shout over the top of the papoose? It's taken a long time for me to learn to accept the context of my existence with the children. And I think actually, any one of them could be my 5 favourite things, and it would have been a very boring podcast. And I've just, what are your 5 favourite things? Well, Jessie and the 4 kids. But because they're not a choice, and I think, parenthood is completely dementing. Of course, I think they're brilliant because I'm their dad. Like, it's no hard task. I think it's so sweet how there's a very moving bit at the end of the Jordan documentary. Don't know if you've seen it, where Jordan's mum speaks.
Oh, right.
And the documentarian, is that the right word? Says to her, don't you think you've been a brilliant mum? You've been with her through all of it. Like, you've been there for her. And she went, I don't think it's brilliant. I just think I was a mum. It's just what a mum does, isn't it? And then it's not special. And then she says to the whole crew, would your mum have done that for you? And the sound guy goes, yep. Would your mum have done that for you? Second AD goes, yep. The documentarian, would your mum have done that for you? Yeah. And everybody realises that their mums love them unreservedly. And you hear the guy who's hosting the documentary, his voice breaks slightly, goes, oh, thank you very much. And it's in something that you expect to be like a little shit treat, your Jordan documentary that you run, to have that, a surge of feeling like that. And it's true. But Jessie, I choose her, and every day we choose each other. And that's why I think the acknowledgement of her as a brilliant thing in my life. And I also think the fact that we've broken up twice means that the acknowledgement of her as a brilliant thing in my life is more necessary, because, like, we all change. I think one of the biggest mistakes that comedians make as they get older is, like, they get good at a certain time in their life. They get older and they don't change their stand-up with the different person that they are today.
Yeah.
And you have to change with your other person and just know, like, you're not, I'm not who I was when we got together. We learn to be with each other because it's a choice. We choose each other every day.
Yes, correct. How did it feel, like, looking back on it when you're, clearly in love? Do you feel a necessity that you split up twice? Or do you feel ashamed that you did it? Given that you had 4 kids, that must feel... those moments when you're away from the children, that must have been so difficult, knowing that your behaviour had led to that. What's that like? It's a very tough question to ask, and I'm sorry. But
Well,
I'm
I think
curious.
actually we got away with it without them really knowing.
Great.
And without them, they're aware that it happened, but they weren't aware that it was happening. And, like, neither of us were quite equipped. We're both quite dysfunctional in certain areas of our lives. That means that every time we've come back together, we've been better. And I say
Right,
that
yeah.
I was behaving a certain way. She was also not an ideal partner.
Yeah.
Like, we both made... She'd say that. I'm pretty sure. We both improved with this time apart. And I think
Right.
the time apart taught us the value of each other. Being away from the kids was incredibly difficult. But at the same time, I was wrestling with my own sense of abandon, and my huge and persevering love of booze
Right.
certainly took the edge off.
Right. Was that a problem?
Yes, I think that's exactly what it was. It was. I was not an alcoholic. I did have a drinking problem, and I think drinking is still a problem for me.
Right.
In that I really enjoy it. But I think it's about I love it so much. I never let it get to the point that I let it. I've still more or less got control over it. And there's a when you do it gracefully and socially, and
I think that's the key, isn't it? It's when you find yourself in need of the drink when you're with yourself that you're like, okay.
yeah. Oh, you get in a few cans for the Avanti West Coast back up to Liverpool, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, I had a weird because I'm not a particularly big drinker, but I noticed that I'd just been doing Top Secret loads, and I was really looking forward to the beer on the way home. And you're like, this is very odd, very unusual. But I'm quite lucky in that I can go and go, oh right, yeah, I only need a couple. And I speak to John Robbins a lot about this, and it's always baffled him that he's like, what, you just fancy a glass of wine? What, you're not going to drink all of that bottle? What the fuck?
Yes, well, I think for people like
Chasers,
John and I
you're
think
chasers.
Well, I wouldn't. It's certainly true for me. I can't speak to him, but the constant terror of death is alleviated somewhat by booze. And as somebody who has a very, very poor relationship with sleep, to have something that will anaesthetize your midnight terror it feels like an incredible deal.
Do you still have that?
Yes.
The fear of death. And have you tried to do anything to get rid of that?
I have.
And what have you done?
Well, we'll get there.
Well, I believe we'll get there next, because it's your next brilliant thing.
Oh, it's my next brilliant thing. I'd like to talk about cannabis.
Right. Okay. So tell me about the cannabis as relates to a fear of death.
Well, it helps me sleep.
Right. And do you find that you're attacked at night when all is still? That your brain almost goes, right then?
Yes, there's a great poem by Philip Larkin that you may be familiar with called O Bard, which is the most perfect expression of these particular night terrors. And what happens to me specifically is that the idea of an infinite nothing subsequent to my consciousness will kind of unravel in my brain, and the enormity of the endlessness of the universe, time, or like space as a concept will become almost too big for my brain. So I, as a human, will begin to short circuit, and I will start screaming and shouting the words shit and fuck or
Honestly,
no or stop, or just like somebody in a state of sheer panic.
This is so freaky, but you are describing exactly what I do.
Yeah.
That and it my wife can't, but it is that fuck. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's 3 a.m, but my wife is now at that stage where you're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. All I have to do is shiver. I go,
yeah.
She had a death freak out.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? And yet it's not, because it's so funny, because clearly you're quite a rational guy, but I remember we did this. We went on holiday. I don't know if you had an experience like this. And they were doing stargazing.
Oh, fuck that.
Exactly. Exactly. And this really great Indian guy was going, if you pull out, and then it goes that star, and then that star, and then that star. And my wife, who's a doctor, so she's got a scientific brain, is just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I'm like, I got to go, or I'm going to do heroin. It's the insignificance. It's the pointlessness. Oh my God. That we are nothing matters. What the
Yeah.
You know, it's so fascinating that so I've to meet somebody that has the exact same like white hot.
Yes, I've never met anybody who experiences it in exactly that way.
But also has brought the solution for you.
Well, let's try it. So tell me about cannabis in relation to all that.
Well, that's why I started it, and I think.
It's such a beautiful way to, like, very few people have that as their origin story for weed.
I started smoking weed at 35 years old.
Wow.
Didn't like it as a teenager. Yeah. Got into it. Don't have a prescription for it. Yeah. I think, I'm slightly skeptical of that, because cannabis is one of my brilliant things. And I think before... Like Jesse and I have this date night ritual where we'll go to a nice restaurant, we'll take some cannabis. She will eat hers and I will smoke mine. The heart wants what it wants. And we have these incredibly intimate and pure, and it's not like getting pissed and blacking out and going, well, that night worth it in the long run? Are you fulfilled by your experience of that night in retrospect? I am completely fulfilled by the experiences that we have together and the conversations and the laughing that we navigate together. It's not all the time. Our good times with each other in restaurants aren't dependent on this, but it will sometimes, a little date night thing, it will lift up an experience for us. So I love it for that.
Yes.
I initially started it to stop this thing in the middle of the night. I don't think smoking it every day is I don't think it's good for me.
No.
So I'm now coming to terms with, well, how the fuck am I going to sleep then? If it's not booze, it's not cannabis, then like, can't I just have one thing for fucking free? No. I mean, I'm interested in the neural pathways that this sort of stuff can open up, and I do feel like it's not without its benefit in small doses.
Yes.
Cannabis, and that it has given a different perspective. And I've written jokes on it that I've done off it that have succeeded.
Right.
I've also written a lot of jokes that have not.
Yes.
But, and I mean, I'm interested in the psilocybin thing. In fact, I have some in my bag, wherever it is.
Yeah, but it's really interesting when you can't. But I think also what's fascinating is, like you say, you're coming to it with you came to cannabis with right, I want this to be I want it to be medicinal. And I think when you arrive at these places, whether it's mushroom, psilocybin, ketamine apparently as well is very good.
Microdosing ketamine.
No. But apparently there's been studies done with, I think, Gulf War soldiers with ketamine, and it's kind of rewired them and helped them get through this.
Really?
So it's sort of approaching stuff in a medicinal way I find fascinating.
Yes.
And I love a shortcut.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think in finding it in a medicinal sense and trying to use it medicinally, I found out, well, it doesn't work for me medicinally. Right. It just works as another point of...
What, psilocybin?
No, I've never done that.
Okay.
Oh, no, I did. For me and Jessie, and I took mushrooms for the first ever time and only time so far in my life, watching Aber Voyage.
Did you?
And that's
a good idea.
Yeah, it lifts it. It lifts it.
Yeah. Yes.
It really lifts it.
Yes.
Wow. I heard the drums. So
you were the drums.
I
Imagine that. That would be it's the only time I took it with my cousin Lee in Thailand, and it was really good fun. But he decided to sleep outside and be at one with nature. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be confined by a hotel. I just want to be. And he got bits of shit. The next morning, he was just covered in all these mosquito bites. I was like, fuck's sake, man, look at me.
I did that, trying to befriend a stray dog, thinking I was like, no, I'm one with the animals, man. This is a stray, but he loves me. Look at it. Oh, yeah, good boy. Meanwhile,
yeah.
Like, I look like, something out of, like Hellboy afterwards.
So what you're describing with cannabis is that it just gives you, it's this kind of just a gentle friend that helps you live life a bit.
Well, it's certainly... a gentle friend that helps me live life a bit is a wonderful
but it's
way
kind
to
of like a
phrase it.
Nice companion when you're going out for a date. It's kind of a nice companion for sleep, nice companion for a...
And I drink a lot less now.
Right, okay, that's good.
I don't still drink, and there's different
Have you done gigs on cannabis?
Never, and would never.
Yeah.
Could not imagine doing anything.
Yeah.
I have friends who can and do that.
Yeah.
I can gig pissed and have had pretty successful gigs pissed, and actually watched some pretty successful gigs where the comedians pissed. I remember at a Leighton Live once, I think I watched an Andrew Maxwell set where he lied down throughout the whole thing because he couldn't stand up anymore.
Right.
And that was and he absolutely walloped it.
Right.
I've done spank piss, which I think is the only real way to do spank. May it rest in peace. But no, never with weed. I don't. I'm too socially. I need to be in a safe space. I bumped into friends the other day when I was high, and I just couldn't believe how rude I was all the way through. But I don't think I was. I just felt incredibly rude the whole time.
Yes. Yeah, it's that thing of like you're wearing a penguin suit and they don't know that you're wearing a penguin suit and you're a penguin.
Yeah, I just knew that my face was doing this. The whole, like it was, I was gurning or like squinting or.
But you probably didn't. You probably just did that once, and,
know,
you thought the whole.
I think I said something to my friend. I hadn't seen her in a long time, and she's slightly younger. And we were talking about middle age, and I went, "You'll get here." And she went, "Oh well, my partner's just been through middle age." And I went, "Yeah, but you haven't." And she went, "Okay." And I just now all I can think about, it's like one of those shower memories that will always just hold and horrify my brain. Shame memories.
Yes. Well, I could go on, but I'm aware that time has run out. But I really enjoyed that.
I'm really glad. Thank you very much for having me. I enjoyed it.
What a lovely ramble. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Alfie Brown.
Thank you.